When Martha Gellhorn wrote to me, it had a shadow of great reality to it. I knew who she was. I was living in Montana. She said about the concern I voiced that such a horrifying condition, she was past the age where it could affect her. I'm well past the age and have lost the stamina. Not that I shouldn't be a handsome, virile man at 64, but I'm not. I'm not going to hide my condition. I'm not FDR pretending I didn't have polio for fear that the rednecks wouldn't vote for me. But in Gaza, I've seen what I know to be a vital truth. Which Greta Thunberg has brought to life for me in the past. As a young, idealistic woman, I remember seeing her when she was thin from being unable to eat. I remember seeing her sitting in her windows with Swedish Industries in the background, alarmed by her inability to bring sense to the magnates responsible. I remembered as a child that I too wondered why city people and industrialists were so eager to despoil the world around us. I didn't understand why they didn't value seeing stars at night, that they would smoke up the cities the way they do. I lost the ability to hear and didn't have conversations with people, didn't hear very much music. I was aesthetically deprived, even though some counselor at the University of Pittsburgh, that took me to see, said I wasn't aesthetically deprived. I was. Greta seemed not aesthetically deprived in the sense of being deaf, but aesthetically deprived in the sense of seeking answers that she couldn't find. Trump can be a very persuasive man. I think he likes Greta. But I don't think he's bothered to encounter her fineness of mind. He knows enough to say respectfully that she's different. She is different. Her mind is a mind of riches. The human condition is what has often stood between me and my black acquaintances, co-workers, and I would say sometimes close friends. Because I don't see them as black except through the folklore and the mythology and the history. I see them as the human condition, just like me. And it's hard to accept the illusion package that has brought so much mischief. I do, of course, understand that they have suffered, and the unspeakable has happened. The human condition shouldn't be lassoed into a statement by people who deem themselves more important than the average person as statistics to be done away with in the lottery of martial hazard, war, in other words, or massacre, as in this case. People from person to person, from child to child, from elderly senior citizen to black to Asian, embody the human condition, in my opinion. And I recognized in Greta someone who feels the same way. I love Greta. I was told by somebody that I had or asked, I should say, what is your connection to these people on the Madly? And I answered, I thought about it. Nobody loves me. All I have are the people I love. It's ironic. But I do have my love for them. Rama, Diane Bhutto, Duaria, Motaz, all those wonderful punks and their kids. They're too beautiful to be put through the unbearable spectacle of a long kiss goodbye in the name of property values, confiscation, future landlords, highway robbery. I was watching Piers Morgan and Francesca Albanese, and he was doing like this here and that there. He was like one of the worst of his own guests. About what he called a publicity stunt. Greta and her friends very admirably focused the attention of the world on the duty that is lost when we don't respond to injustice. They tried to take food to the starving. They tried and failed to take food to the starving. But they tried, and they dared have hope that they could succeed. And it made others feel the absence of courage in their own societies. Someone said, and this may be what made P.M. Morgan so mad, that she had the courage that our leaders don't have. She had the courage that Piers Morgan doesn't have. Is he afraid that if he takes a stand for the starving children of Gaza and stands up to Israel, that it will be labeled a publicity stunt? Let me ask you, Piers, if you did do that, you stood up to Israel and people called it a publicity stunt, would you back off? Would you feel that it was justified? Or would you feel ashamed of yourself for talking that way about Greta Thunberg? She put her life on the line. You may think she didn't, but you have never encountered Israeli brutality. I have. It's unprovoked, and it's shocking, and it's slaughtering, and it is cruel. And they know how to terrorize the mind and the soul. And they went about it fairly forcefully. Now, we get a good laugh of relief, maybe, from seeing Greta spanked on the behind by the big boys of Tel Aviv and told, don't come here doing this no more. But what motivated Greta was not self-aggrandizement. It was an argument she has going with self-aggrandizement. What would I say about myself if I didn't try to help them is what motivated her. The National Review and Piers Morgan maneuvered to come up with a plan to foil what she attempted to do. And they said she was grandstanding. She was a benefit whore. It was a publicity stunt to advocate for her enigma. The catcalls about things like that are perfectly inevitable. Greta has been talked to by professionals, so her family knows how to try to protect her from locals who might get into their heads to teach her a lesson for some reason or another. I'm sure that Pierre's and the new National Review do not mean to incite anybody to his Greta. But one could just as easily distort their purpose and say that that's what they're trying to do. And it would be analogous to the cheap shot of calling her a publicity hound. I wouldn't have been able to take the anxiety that was clearly haunting and dogging the flotilla because of my traumatic past. But like the hobbits in Rivendell, even if I would not have dared, I would have wished I dared. What Greta did more than anything else was bring to the police, to the society, to the government, I believe probably to some of the people in Israel, the wish that they dared to take on this problem, to break the siege, and save the future for the children of Gaza. I don't understand what's being done there. Or if I do understand, it's too hateful to credit. But I thoroughly dismiss the idea that she didn't have reasonable, sensible grounds to pursue her mission with the utmost vigor in the hopes of inspiring more of the same. And thus Albanese said, may the people of the world send their navies, whether armed or unarmed, with peaceful intentions, to bring food, sanitation, medicine, healthcare, survival, and recovery to the people of Gaza. She spoke of a spirit of Dunkirk. Any man who is able, and any ship that is seaworthy, make for Gaza in a freedom flotilla. Bring some sense to this planet.